We're in 2022 now, and in this video I'm going to go through things I expect to see from PlayStation. Some of them are things that are announced, some of them are things that aren't, that I just think are going to happen. It's my wild speculation. Stay tuned on the channel for my videos on Xbox and Nintendo over the rest of this week. So first of all, let's get going with confirmed games on PlayStation for 2022. I'm just going to focus on first party games and exclusives for this list, so apologies if I've missed out something that you're super looking forward to. So in February, we have Horizon Forbidden West. We know it's gone gold, we know it's coming out in a few weeks. It's gorgeous, the gameplay looks like a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the combat of the first game. I'm just hoping there's kind of more interesting things to do in the world than maybe we had in the first game. In March, Gran Turismo 7 is going to release. Literally while I was recording this, Sony just announced the state of play for this week, where they're going to go into loads more detail about Gran Turismo. I'm assuming it's going to be everything fans of Series 1. It looks already like it's got a lot more character than the last few Gran Turismo games have had, and that's a really good thing. I think at this state of play they're going to announce something that I'll talk about a little bit later in this video, but I think there's going to be a little bit more to Gran Turismo than people think so far. In May, Forspoken's releasing. I'm a little bit nervous about this. The story looks kind of interesting, and obviously the graphics look great, but it looks a little bit like it's more of a technical showcase than a really good game. The combat doesn't look too interesting to me so far, beyond the really cool spell effects, and they've put a lot of attention on the traversal of like moving around this massive map really quickly, which is something they made a big deal of when the PlayStation 5 was announced. You know, the hard drive's so fast, they'd be able to load things in super quickly, so you'd be able to travel really quickly. I kind of get the impression that this game was just built around showing that idea off. I'm hoping I'm wrong, I'm hoping there's a lot more to it, and as we get closer to release we'll see a bit more of that, but at the moment I'm a little bit wary. Obviously we have God of War 2 releasing later this year. I'm going to assume it's going to come out at the end of October, probably just trying to avoid the kind of Call of Duty time but still get there before Thanksgiving. I'm sure it'll be more of the same, but that's not a bad thing. God of War was one of the best games of last generation. Since I'm speculating, I might as well try and guess at something new for this. I think you're going to be able to play as Atreus. I think there's going to be something that happens at some point in the story where you're going to switch from playing Kratos to playing as Atreus. That's going to be the big change for me, and I think they're going to try and build him up as maybe the next main character, if they don't try and completely pull the rug from under us and actually turn him into the next big villain.
Are you a calm and reasonable person?
Now on to some new announcements, so things that haven't been announced yet but I think are going to happen this year. So I think there's going to be a state of play pretty soon. Now obviously they've just announced one for February, but they've said that's all about Gran Turismo, so I think maybe in March, I don't think we're going to wait too long, we're going to get one all based around the PlayStation VR 2, and they're going to really show it off properly. Obviously we've seen the controllers, we've had the tech specs, we still haven't seen the headset or known that much about different games going on with it. We know there is a Horizon Forbidden West kind of spin-off type thing that's going to be on PSVR 2. I think that's the only game that's been confirmed for it so far. So that's going to be coming out. I think they're going to announce that the PlayStation VR 2 is going to come out in September. I think the games they're going to announce at this state of play that I'm hoping will happen next month will be Blood and Truth 2 or something else happening from London Studio, because they were quite prolific before they released Blood and Truth, and then I haven't heard anything from them since. So I think they're probably working on Blood and Truth 2 or something in that vein, some sort of shooting action game for it. I think we're going to get something tied to Final Fantasy 16, not like you being able to play Final Fantasy 16 with the PlayStation VR, but I think maybe some sort of spin-off type thing, maybe something where you play as those giant icon type summon type things, something like that could be really cool. And also I think this is going to be the Gran Turismo announcement that we might even get this week at that state of play. I think all of Gran Turismo 7 is going to be playable in PlayStation VR 2. That would be an awesome thing that people would get really excited about. If they can make it look really good, I think that could be absolutely amazing. And obviously they've done stuff like this with Drive Club before, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. Then I think another big reveal for the PSVR 2 is they're going to get Half-Life Alyx from Valve. Now, I think this would be a great way to show off the new controllers and show the abilities of the new controllers. Half-Life Alyx has some really incredible sort of fine controls that you can do with your hands and your fingers, so I think they're going to want to show those controls off. They'll get Half-Life Alyx, which is a game that Valve put out, but obviously not many people got to play because PC VR is still very expensive to get into and you need a lot of room and things like that, so I think they're going to have a way of doing that on PlayStation 5. Around E3 time, so kind of May, June, I think we'll get another big state of play like we do most years, and I think this one will have a big focus on The Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer title. So we know this is going to be a standalone title, we know it's going to be something that you don't need Last of Us to play. I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of had some modes from the original Last of Us multiplayer, but maybe also something bigger and more open world, so something like Escape from Tarkov or a Battle Royale or something like that. I think that could be very, very cool. You sort of starting off in one of the forests in the game and then having to scavenge and try and get to some kind of way of extracting, some way of getting away from everyone. I think that could be a lot of fun. I think that could be really exciting, and I think that's one of the big things that Sony's going to be announcing this year. I also think Final Fantasy 16 is probably going to release this year. I know we haven't seen that much of it yet, but I kind of think that's going to be their big RPG for towards the end of the year, so we'll see a lot more about that. And I think they're going to do a new Wipeout game. Sony really likes showing off the sort of power of their consoles using racing games. It's something that we've seen with previous generations, and I'd really like it if they brought out some sort of arcade racer, so something like Wipeout or maybe even Motorstorm, where they can show off what the PlayStation 5 can do. Obviously Gran Turismo 7 is going to look spectacular, but remember that is a cross-generation game. That's something that's going to be working on PlayStation 4 too. It'd be nice to have a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and I think an arcade game could maybe do some little tricks. Think like Ratchet and Clank going through the portals and things like that. You could have something cool like that for a Wipeout game, or maybe, like I said, maybe a slightly futuristic Motorstorm game or something like that. That could be awesome. And then finally, the big announcement that I think they'll do for the PlayStation 5 UI is that they're finally going to integrate Discord into the party system. I hate the PlayStation 5 party system. I find it really confusing to use as someone that only uses it occasionally. It's like, I log onto there and I'm trying to join my friends and I can see all of these different rooms where we've kind of been in parties together in the past, and I can join them, but I can't tell which one they're in right now. Sometimes I can invite people, sometimes I can't. I find it horribly confusing. If they could build Discord into the UI, so you just press the PlayStation button on your controller, and it's one of those little options on the bottom and brings up an interface, so you can just join servers, join channels, play alongside people on PC or on Xbox or anything like that. I think that would be absolutely awesome. I would love it if that was coming out soon. That would be a cool announcement if they did this in May or June and they were like, and this is available now, like this update's happening now or tomorrow or something. That would be really cool. So like I said, over this week I'm going to have videos for predictions like this, but for Nintendo and Xbox. Let me know in the comments what you think about predictions in this video. Do you think I'm on the mark with some of them, or do you think I'm way off? Let me know what you think I've got wrong. Are there games that you think are going to come out this year that I've missed out in here? Tell me about them, because I love getting hyped for games. And what are your predictions for PlayStation in 2022?